So, will the Kansas City Chiefs receiving core be better than last year? Can Justin Herbert
Um,
work with a new?
I don't think we're live, Tim. It's still so scheduled up there. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, are we live now?
Yeah, I guess it was just a delay on my end. Never mind. Carry on.
Okay, sorry, folks. Let's take this from the top. Will the Chiefs receiving core be better than last year? Can Justin Herbert work with a new offensive coordinator? And is Christian McCaffrey a shoe-in to repeat as MVP? Well, we're going to find the answers to those questions and many more as we take the advice of someone who I can't remember his name, but he said, "Go West, young man." And that's what we're doing today. We are previewing the AFC and NFC West divisions tonight on Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right about now. And hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Thursday night, June 27, 2024. Wherever, whenever, and however you're watching, thanks for making us a part of your week. My name is Tim McClellan. Over here is our lead commissioner, Mr. John Natale. How are you, sir?
Yeah, doing great. And yeah, right when you said "Go West, young man," I just had to look it up. It was by let's see, Yearly. I think Horace Greeley.
Horace Greeley.
Yes.
So that's the guy that said, "Go West, young man." Well, all right. Well, we're going to be doing that tonight. Our good friend John Flynn is not going to be able to be with us tonight. He is taking a little vacation. He is over in Europe,
Ooh.
actually, over in Scotland to be exact. That's what he told me. So by the time we're on the air, he's still asleep because I think about my second, he said about 6 hours ahead of us, or
Yeah.
6 hours ahead of me, which of course would be 8 hours ahead of Natalie.
Yeah, sounds about right. So that means over there, it's probably about 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, probably about 4 a.m. over there. I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd say about maybe 10 minutes till 4
Yeah.
a.m. over there. But
Let's do a quick Google search and let's see what Scotland time is right now.
Yeah, check the Scotland time and
3:50 a.m.
3:50 a.m. Yeah, he's off in La La Land right now. So,
Oh yeah.
but I'm sure Flynn will be with us next week, and of course, you always check out Hooked on Sports, his podcast. Look for it wherever you find podcasts. And yeah, tonight we're taking a look at the West divisions in the NFL. Taking a look at the AFC and NFC. Right now, we don't really have much as far as hot topics, except for some good news from the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep. Brandon Ayuk. He's in the final year of his 5-year rookie contract. Yeah. According to him, the talks are going well. So far, yeah, both sides are listening to each other. But that's just preliminary discussions right now. They're going to focus mainly after the 4th of July break, get re-energized, recharged, and yeah, maybe something will be worked out around that time.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? I mean, he's been a pretty good receiver since he's been with that team. So looking to get that money, get that extension, and keep him around there for a little while.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have our friend Daniel Barry. How you doing, Daniel? Good seeing you again. Thanks for dropping by, and hope you're doing good over there. So this may seem like maybe a short kind of show tonight. I think Flynn he sent me the projected rankings for the position players for our teams that we'll be talking about, but
yep, and then our breakout player who we chose.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, I've got my breakout players. I know Natalie's got his, Flynn's got his. Um, I guess he did come up with those, and I really couldn't find anything to kind of accommodate that. So I guess what we could do is we could talk about these teams while we are taking a look at their schedules for this year.
Oh yeah.
So first, we'll go ahead and share the screen here. Let's take a look at the AFC West schedule here.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the Denver Broncos schedule, they start on the road in Seattle, then they're home against the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
Then two road games, one to Tampa Bay and one to New York to face the Jets. So two road games over on the East Coast. And then they're back home against division rivals Las Vegas and then Los Angeles Chargers. Then they're on the road in New Orleans in week 7 against the Saints. Back home week 8 against the Panthers. Weeks 9 and 10 are going to be kind of tough, in my opinion. They go to Baltimore and then they got to go to Kansas City.
Mm.
And then they're back home against the Falcons. And then they'll travel to Las Vegas. In week 13, they have a Monday night game against the Cleveland Browns.
Mm.
And then they have their week 14 bye week.
Oh, they're really deep.
Yeah, really deep on the bye week. Then coming out of the bye week, they are at home against the Colts. Then I think for the playoff push, then they got week 16 at the Chargers, week 17 at the Bengals, and then home against the Chiefs to close out the season. So, question is, Patrick Mahomes could return to the top. Of course, yeah, we'll talk about them when we talk about Kansas City. So Denver, where is my page? I had this page with the rosters. Very good. Yeah, depth charts of the rosters. Very great website. Ourlads.com, OURLADS.com. Very good website that Flynn kind of recommended to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look up the let me look up the Broncos depth chart here. This thing's kind of taking a little bit of time here.
You know, one game that's going to be intriguing to me on the top of the list is the Steelers. Russell Wilson will be playing against another former team again.
Oh yeah, week 2 already.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson at home against his old team.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the Broncos, of course, will be starting their top draft pick, Bo Nix. And I kind of have him as a fantasy breakout. I think had 1 or 2 for the AFC West, I think. Oh, I actually got 3 here. One of them is Nix. Started 3 years at Auburn and then transferred to Oregon for 2 years. His records or his stats in those colleges, he completed 1,286 passes for 15,352 yards with 108 touchdowns, 26 interceptions, and he also had 405 rushes for 1,613 yards and 38 touchdowns. So I guess he can sling. I guess he can. I guess he can sling the ball a little bit. He's going to have a have his receiving core of Cortland Sutton, Josh Reynolds, and Marvin Mims Jr. with Adam Troutman as tight end.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did pull up some numbers from the ESPN fantasy site. Looks like
Yes.
running back Javonte Williams. He's projected to get 11.9. Well, this is just week 1, actually. Oh, let's see.
Right.
All right, we'll go through the projection as a whole. Then, actually, I was reading the wrong slot. Javonte Williams, he's projected for the season at 173.9. Let's see. Cortland Sutton, 189. Let's see. Try to go by position here. Marvin Mims Jr., let's see. 142.5. Let's see. Anybody else here I'm missing? Samaje Perine, the backup running back, I think. He'll be 101.9. I see Greg Dulcich on the tight end chart here, but he might be the tight end 2. 70.2. Let's see. Did you bring up the name Adam Troutman?
Adam Troutman, tight end.
Okay, yeah. He actually might be tight end 2 because it says his projection here for the season is 46.1.
Okay, he's got and he has a guy named Lucas Kroll as the backup.
Okay, I see him there, Lucas Kroll. He's probably tight end 3 because it shows him having a season of only 18.
Okay.
So he's probably tight end 3, I would guess.
So Bo Nix will have a little bit of help. He's got Jarrett Stidham.
Here's Bo Nix. Yeah, Bo Nix, 224 is his projection for the season. 15.8 in week 1.
Are you looking at like fantasy rankings? I mean, like kind of like what Flynn had for the last few weeks, or
yeah.
Okay.
I'm using the same site as our fantasy league.
Oh, okay. Okay, and well, now I see a very familiar name on this. The third string quarterback. Does the name Zach Wilson ring a bell to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ugh. I anticipate him to be very, very low on the chart here.
I anticipate him to be meaningless.
Yeah, I don't even see him when I'm scrolling down. Oh, here it is, Zach Wilson. Yeah, he has a projections of 0.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Zeros across the board. 0 for week 1 and 0 for the season.
0 for the season, 0 for week 1. I mean, he couldn't get the job done in New York. So
well, yeah, he's a third string quarterback, so
well, he's third string. He started
that's if he even makes the roster. I mean, you barely even see teams carrying 3 quarterbacks.
No, not really, not nowadays, but
QB3 is typically on the practice squad.
They just couldn't hold him in New York, could they?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just one of those guys that you just couldn't play with, you know?
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, so after going down the Broncos' schedule last year, the Broncos went 8-9, finished second place in the AFC West. They did win the tiebreaker with Las Vegas, who also finished 8-9. And according to Las Vegas, the win over under for the Denver Broncos this year is 5.5.
Yeah, I mean, despite them being a little wishy-washy with who they got and whatnot, I might have a little bit of faith in Bo Nix, so I'm gonna take the over just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that too. I mean, I could see them. Okay, they finished 8-9 last year. Of course, they have a new quarterback now, so I can probably in reality say maybe 7 or 8 at best. Maybe they could break even from last year. So 8 wins. That'd be good. 9 would be a very good improvement.
Oh yeah.
So we'll just see what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold up a second. We got oh, okay. I thought it was just something coming up on my laptop here.
Ah,
Has nothing to do with our show, so don't worry about it.
all right.
So yes, I'm going to take the over a little bit there. So let's see here. Let me get back to my notes here. Okay, so let's talk about the defending champs. The Kansas City Chiefs. They start at home first 2 weeks against Baltimore, then against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
On the road to Atlanta, then the Chargers. Back home.
Yeah, I could see 3-4 as a
Saints.
potential win there. Saints is my question mark right now.
Yeah, that when the Chiefs and Ravens get together, that's a pretty good non-divisional matchup right there.
Oh yeah.
I could probably see maybe 1 or 2 for first 5 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna say actually I'm gonna go 4-1. I'm gonna say lose opening day, win the rest.
That's kind of exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking it's going to be a tough one against the Ravens, but they
Mm-hmm.
could beat the Bengals, they could beat the Falcons, they could beat the Chargers, and they can beat the Saints.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
week 6 is their bye.
Mm-hmm.
And then week 7 is going to be a good one. Super Bowl rematch.
Ooh. But yeah, this time I think the Niners get their revenge on this one.
The Niners will get their revenge. So I think that could be a very, very tasty matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that one's not in prime time. That's a 425 game.
Mm.
I'm surprised it's not prime time because it definitely sounds like it could be prime time to me.
Oh yeah.
And after that, they will go to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Back home in
Mm-hmm.
weeks 9 and 10 against the Buccaneers and the Broncos.
Yeah, I do think I think they split with the Broncos.
Split the series with the Broncos. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Week 11, they go to Buffalo for another
Ooh,
matchup against those Bills.
that could be a tricky one. I mean, but at the same time, though, I think the Bills have gotten slightly worse.
Yeah, a little
So
bit.
I'm kind of inclined to giving that one to the Chiefs also.
Yeah, because I guess I probably I think like we mentioned when we were talking about the AFC East about plugging in that young receiver after Stephon Diggs' departure.
Mm-hmm.
So then week 12 they go to Carolina against the Panthers, and they go back home weeks 13 and 14 against the Raiders and Chargers. Week 15 at Cleveland. That's
I'm kind of
kind of
inclined. I'm
response.
kind of tempted to give the Browns a win on that one. So
Hmm.
I think right now I have the Chiefs with 4 losses.
Week 16, they're at home against the Texans, which would be
Hmm.
a very interesting matchup right there.
That might be that's a tough one. That can go either way.
I'm gonna circle that one on my calendar as a game to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Then they finish on the road week 17 and 18 at the Steelers, which is a Wednesday night game. That would be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Or
Mm-hmm.
then week 18, they are at Denver against the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Week 16 could be beautiful if you're in a championship semifinal. Can you imagine, like, if in your semifinal match, if you had, like, say, Patrick Mahomes and your opponent had C.J. Stroud, that would be some matchup.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So based on this, I have the Chiefs somewhere either 12 or 13 wins. Let's see what Vegas. Well, actually, wait. Don't you have a breakout player on? Didn't you put a breakout player on your list for the Kansas City Chiefs?
I certainly do.
Ooh, let's hear you talk about him.
Well, call me a homer. I don't care. But my breakout player is going to be the rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy from
Texas Longhorns.
That's right, Texas Longhorns. I'm plugging him in because, of course, you know I haven't heard anything new in the Rashee Rice situation. He's still
Right.
possibly facing a suspension to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for that reason, they'll probably put Worthy in there in his spot or one of the other spots. Did pretty well in college.
Oh yeah.
Had 197 receptions, 2,755 yards, and 26 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
His combine numbers were very good. I mean, out of all the ones I've talked about during their combine numbers, this is impressive. A 4.2140. That's pretty
Ooh.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
4.2140 with a 41-inch vertical jump and a 10-foot 11-inch broad jump.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if they need him to catch some passes, then I'd say he's pretty much got the reach for it. So that's my fantasy breakout. Last year the Chiefs finished 11-6. They won the Super Bowl against the 49ers in overtime, 25-22. And of course, they got the 49ers in San Francisco on week 7. Vegas has Kansas City's win over under at 11.5.
Okay,
So
yeah. I mean, I had 12 or 13, so I guess I could take the over on that. I feel pretty good about that.
Right, probably about 12 or 13. Yeah, that sounds a little bit sounds like this in the ballpark right there.
Yeah, and then since you briefly mentioned Xavier Worthy, we'll take a look at his projections really quick for week 1. He's projected to get 11.5 for the season, 174.8. He's right on pace with Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown is projected to have 175.6, so less than a point differential right there.
Uh-huh.
And then Isaiah Pacheco, he's projected to have some big numbers here, 232.2.
Ooh.
More than the wide receivers.
Uh-huh.
And let's see. Travis Kelce is actually projected to have even smaller than Pacheco. Kelce is smaller. I was by a little bit, 208.7. Then Patrick Mahomes, 373.5. Pretty much no surprise. He's one of the clear top quarterbacks there. Let's see.
I think I saw he was ranked, but Mahomes is ranked 3rd among the quarterbacks in fantasy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't see any other big names on here worth noting, I don't think. Well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's probably the running back number 2, 108.7. Oh, Kadarius Toney. This guy. He was horrible with the Giants. Had a rough season with the Chiefs. He only projected to have 20.4.
20.4.
Yeah.
I guess Kadarius Toney is another one of those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Yeah. And then Sky Moore, not much better, 26.
Right. Yeah, Sky Moore. To me, when Sky Moore came into the league, I could have swore he could have been a potentially very good player.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, based on their depth chart here, he's borderline wide receiver 4. Like he's probably like the first bench option. Right now, you're looking at Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown, and Xavier Worthy as the main 3.
Ah.
I'll get the Raiders ready since you could.
Okay,
let's see what. Dashy has something on here.
There's our friend Dashy. I did change my YouTube channel profile picture. I guess that's it right there. What we're looking at right now. I'm hoping that the AFC West Division race will be more closer than the past 8 seasons The NFC West should be interesting.
Well, yeah, it definitely could. I mean, definitely 2, 3, and 4. I think could really go either way.
Yeah, that could happen, but yeah, we'll be getting to the NFC West schedules in just a little bit. Continuing on now with the Las Vegas Raiders. They are starting on the road 2 games against the Chargers and against the Ravens. Home against the Panthers and the Browns. Then on the road to Denver. Home against Pittsburgh. On the road against the Rams. Home against the Chiefs. Of course, but anytime the Raiders and Chiefs get together, I mean, that rivalry goes way back.
Oh, yeah.
Way back to the old AFL days right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll go to Cincinnati in week 9. They have a bye in week 10.
Yeah, not too terrible. About in the middle there.
Right about Bills, so almost balanced it out right there. Then back to action week 11. They're at Miami. That'll be an interesting matchup right there. Then home against the Broncos. Then they go to Kansas City. They go to Tampa Bay. Back home against the Falcons and Jaguars. Final road game is at New Orleans. Final home game is against the Chargers.
All right, let's see.
So if there's anything that I'm looking at here on this particular schedule, I think hasn't there been a few times in the last couple of years where the Raiders have actually beaten the Chiefs at Arrowhead?
Yeah, I can't recall one off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm sure they've at least split the series several times.
Yeah, definitely split the series, and of course got Antonio Pierce now. He's no longer the interim head coach; he is now the head coach. So let me see. Let me look up the depth charts for the Raiders.
Yeah. I know Flynn put Zamir White as his breakout candidate. Yeah, and I picked Brock Bowers for mine. For the same team.
Oh, same team. Interesting.
Yeah. So on here, Zamir White, opening day, he's projected to have 12.9 for his fantasy points. And for the season, a pretty respectable 179.8. Yeah, he's obviously now the running back 1 because of what's his name? Josh Jacobs going to the Packers.
Samir White, yeah. And Brock Bowers, young tight end.
Yeah, according to this, he's projected to have 144 fantasy points.
And one of Alex's favorite quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew Mania, running wild in Vegas.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find him on here. Yeah, I see Aiden O'Connell. It looks like he's not projected to be the starter, but it does show him having 128.2 fantasy points.
I do see a very familiar name on the backup for a left wide receiver. Yeah, familiar name, Michael Gallup.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I don't see him on here. I gotta scroll through.
Yeah,
there it is, Michael Gallup. Yeah, he's only for week 1. He's only projected to have 3.5 fantasy points, but finished the season 66.6. Hopefully that's not a curse for him though. 666.
That would be ugly.
Yeah. So he looks like he's probably like the wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 type. I mean, obviously Devontae Adams is your main receiver there. He's projected to have 253.1. Let's see. And then you have Jacoby Myers. 175. And then who's probably wide receiver 3? Let's see. Maybe it is Gallup. Who knows? Man, Michael Gallup might be wide receiver 3, possibly. I don't see any other names on here. There's a Trey Tucker, but no, he's even smaller than Gallup. So,
Right.
Yeah. Oh, or is it Hunter Renfrow? Maybe. Nope. Oh no, Hunter Renfrow has a goose egg 0.
Yeah, it looks like a little probably the laptop. Let me see if I can get that back up and going.
Mm-hmm. And I guess what we'll do that I'll just go through the names, see if there's anybody else on here. There's Brian Hoyer, but I think he's probably the 3rd string QB.
Right.
And Amir Abdullah, he's the running back 2, 55.8 fantasy points projection. Yeah. Oh yeah, Gardner Minshew. Yeah, he's projected to have 17.2 fantasy points for week 1. Overall for the season, 143.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at Michael Mayer is the tight end 2, 62.9. Oh. Alexander Madison might get some reps, 91.2, the former Viking.
Right. I think we should get that back up on the screen here.
Yeah, I think that is basically all the names there.
Browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues.
Uh-oh.
Well, as Pop, I would say, will blow me down. Let me see if I can try to refresh that browser in a moment. We'll see if we can try to get this information back up on the screen for you. Yeah, I'm having to use both my Microsoft Edge web browser on my Xbox One for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Using my laptop, which I still think I need to get a better one. Let's see if I can get back in there. So, okay, so got that in. Let me try to bring this up one more time. Let's see if we can bring it back up here.
There it goes.
There we go. So with all that being said, there's some pen. That being said, last year, the Raiders finished 8-9. Of course, we mentioned they lost the tiebreaker to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
The over-under win total for the Las Vegas Raiders, according to the Vegas Boogies, 6.5.
I think they did make a little bit of an improvement for this offseason. I think I'm tempted to take the over on this one as well.
I think I'll be inclined to do that too. I could probably see probably looking at it realistically, maybe 9. I see 9 or 10.
Yeah, maybe
9 or 10. That's what I'm kind of looking at with the Raiders here. About 9 or 10. 9 or 10 wins for the silver and black attack right there. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
They will have a road game to start their season against the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
They go to Carolina, go to Pittsburgh. Then they're at home against the Chiefs. Then they have an early bye week 5. So
let's see. I'm leaning towards. Let me see here. I'm going to do a count here. I think they could beat the Panthers. I think that's about it. I think I have them starting 1-3
versus home against the Raiders. I think they could beat the Raiders at home in week 1. I'm kind of seeing them going 2-2. Beat the Raiders, beat the Panthers,
Yep.
but probably lose to the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's where I'm definitely going there on 3 and 4. The first one is I'm 50-50 on that, but I'm saying loss for now. But that could all change when the game actually comes into play.
That's right. Then coming back from their week 5 bye, they have road games at Denver, at Arizona. That'll be an interesting one there. Then they have home against the Saints,
Right.
on the road against Cleveland. Then 3 straight home games: Titans, Bengals, and Ravens. Then on the road to Atlanta, and then go to Arrowhead, week 14. Then for the final push in the playoffs, they at home against the Bucks, home against the Broncos, then on the road at New England. Then they're on the road in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
Yeah, they got a pretty difficult schedule here. I mean, I think they took a step back because when they lost Austin Eckler in free agency. But not a particularly great core. Like you have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards as your running back duo.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks like probably. I think J.K. Dobbins is probably first because it says he's going to be 166.3 overall for projections, and Gus Edwards 144.3. I mean, both of them have their injury issues. So we'll see.
Well, according to what I got from Flynn yesterday, he and I have pretty much a good fantasy breakout coming out of the Chargers. Same guy, Lad McConkey, the wide receiver, the rookie wide receiver out of the University of Georgia. Of course, where he won 2 national championships there. He was a redshirt freshman in 2020.
Nice.
And then when he got to play in 2021 onward, he had 119 receptions for 1,687 yards, 14 touchdowns. And he rushed the ball 13 times for 216 yards and 4 touchdowns. So pretty good numbers as far as his receiving is concerned. He ran a 4.3940 in the combine with a 36-inch vertical jump and a 10-foot 4-inch broad jump.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I could see him being a breakout star with the Chargers there.
Yeah. And according to this fantasy thing, looks like he's projected to have 173.7 fantasy points. And they have the projected wide receiver 3 upside as far as fantasy purposes go.
So last year, the Chargers finished last season with a record of 5-12. But Las Vegas has them with their over/under win total at 8.5.
Yeah, I think they have a rough schedule. I'm taking the under on this one.
Yeah, I'm going slightly under. I'd say maybe 6 or 7.
Okay, and let's just take a look at some players here really quick. Let's see. Yeah, I mean Quentin Johnson. I think he's probably their wide receiver 2, projected to have 130.7 fantasy points. Then you have Joshua Palmer at 138.7. Let's see. Who's their tight ends? Let's see. Oh, yeah, well, Justin Herbert projected at 298.4. Can't seem to find who their tight end is. Might have to scroll down some more. Oh, Hayden Hurst, 99.3. And that's basically those notable names on there. Yeah, I think that's it for the West, right?
Yeah, that's it for the AFC West right there.
All right, I guess now we got to shift over to the East now.
Well, actually, before we shift over to the East, I was thinking of maybe changing up a few things.
Okay, sure thing.
I say before we take a look at the before we take a look at the NFC West, let's do some trivia.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, let me get that banner up here. So, I understand you have a question as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get the answers to the trivia questions after we go through the NFC West schedule. But here's my question. Probably remember the 1997 Kansas City Chiefs season where they finished 13-3. That was back when they had 16 games in the season. They finished 13-3,
Mm-hmm.
but they lost the divisional round playoff game to the Denver Broncos by a score of 14-10. Now, the easy question would be, who was the starting quarterback for the Broncos?
Yeah, of course.
That would be an easy question.
Yeah, that's a little too easy.
Yeah. So my question is, who was the Chiefs starting quarterback?
The Chiefs starting quarterback in 1997. You're saying basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have an idea, but I'll probably. Wait, want me to guess now, or want me to guess at the end of the show?
We'll wait till the end.
Okay.
Okay, now let's have your question.
Okay. I guess you remember. I think last week I was talking about like international players born in a specific country.
Right.
But now I'm still gonna talk about international, but I'm gonna have a different topic. My question is going to be about players making it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I want to know, who was the last international born player to make it into the Hall of Fame?
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a very, very good question. Wow.
Yeah. I'll give a hint. He was inducted in 2017.
2017.
Yep, that's the last time a international born player was elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But what's his name?
That is going to be a good one. You're really going to have me working my brains on that one here.
Yeah, I know it is a well-known name. So
A well-known name.
mm-hmm.
Of course, he would be well-known because he's in the Hall of Fame. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So, let me get this back up and going because it's time to take a look here. This thing is moving so slow. Okay, so we should have the NFC West team schedule coming up. Oh, any second now. Browser cannot access your screen.
Oh, yeah, that thing happened before too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. Like I said, I didn't quite have any slides from Natalie, and truthfully, I needed to figure out how to do that.
Mm.
So where are we? We are here now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll wait. We'll see if we can get that screen up here. Oh boy. Come on, work with me, babe. Work with me. Says page unresponsive, so I just. Oh boy. I don't know why this thing does not want to cooperate with me.
I guess while we'll do that, I'll pull up a random team from the list. Then let's see. I'll just start with, I guess, Arizona. We'll talk about some fantasy players while you're getting that to load.
Yeah, one guy. He could be a breakout, but he's probably going to be basically up there. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I initially had him, but I'm changing mine to the Seahawks, which I guess we can mention a little later. But since I'm already on this, I'm already on the Cardinals. In week 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. is projected to have 15.3 fantasy points. Overall, 228.5 for the season, which looks like he could be wide receiver 1 potentially. Let me see if I can find the other names on here. Yeah, he is ahead of Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson's projected at 119.6. Let's see who else is on here. Yeah, Greg Dorshist, 48.7. And former Jet Michael Carter, he's on the pretty much the end of the running back depth chart, 52.1.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Trey Benson is probably the RB2, 109.2. Kyler Murray's probably due for a bounce back if he can avoid injury. He's projected at 298.5. And week 1 projected to get 19.4. James Conner appears to be the RB1, 177.7 fantasy points. And 13 points to open up the season. Yeah, Trey McBride, he's going to be the tight end 1. He's projected to have 182.7 fantasy points and to get 12.4 to start. Let's see if there's anybody here I'm missing. Okay, I think I mentioned Michael Wilson already, but just in case, 119.6. He was selected in the 3rd round of the draft last season.
Right.
Okay, yeah, here's another wide receiver who might make an impact. Zay Jones, 121.9 for the season.
Right.
Let's see. I mean, you have the veteran kicker, Matt Prater. Let's see. I think that is it. No really other notable players here. DJ Dallas, the former Seahawk. He's only projected to have 0.5.
Yeah, he won't be a factor.
Yeah, he's probably maybe special teams. That's about it. That's basically what he was for the Seahawks last season. He got some carries here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can get this thing now.
Alrighty.
At least it is so far. Gotta hate this thing. Well, I guess while we're waiting.
All right. Well, I guess while we're doing that, I'll
Browser
go.
cannot access your.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, we're just gonna have to play it by ear right here.
Ready?
So Arizona will start on the road at Buffalo, which is not going to be a good start for them.
Mm-mm.
Then they have 3 straight home games against the Rams, against the Lions, and against the Commanders. Then they're on the road against the 49ers and the Packers. Then they're at home in week 7 against the Chargers. On the road week 8 at Miami. Then week 9 and 10, they're home games against the Bears and then against the Jets. and they have their bye week at week 11.
Mhm.
Then in week 12 and 13, road games at Seattle, at Minnesota. Weeks 14 and 15 at home against the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Mhm.
Then weeks 16 and 17 on the road at Carolina and at Los Angeles against the Rams. Then they finish the season at home against the 49ers. Boy,
Oof.
start the season. Hey, does anybody out there have any advice for worn out throats or something? Because I think I don't know what's wrong with me. But as I was about to say, you start on the road against Buffalo, then you finish at home against the 49ers.
That's going to be pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. It was brutal for them last year.
Mhm.
Last year, the Cardinals finished 4 and 13, and Vegas has their over/under win total at 6.5.
Honestly, I think I'm going to take a risk here. I think I'm going to take the over because, I think Kyler Murray, he should have a full season now. And with them taking Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft, I think he's going to do very well. And he could possibly win Rookie of the Year potentially, Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I'm going to go the over.
I'd say maybe what I'm looking at here is maybe between 7 and 8 wins, probably at best.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's good enough. That's just good enough for the over. Then I think.
Yeah, be a lot better than last year.
So, what team do you have next on there?
The LA Rams is the next team we're talking about.
All right, pull up some players here. Oh yeah, definitely Puka Nucua. Oh, here's something interesting. Prior to week 1 of last season, it says here Puka Nucua was only rostered in 1.6% of fantasy leagues.
Really?
Yeah, he got a massive jump.
Yeah, I'd say you got to jump all right.
Yeah, and also, considering Kupp getting injured last season, yeah, he's probably the clear wide receiver 1 because he's projected to have 258.8 fantasy points for the season.
All right, so is Puka Nucua in for a repeat of last season's breakout?
Yeah, we'll see.
Possibility. I want to try this again.
Okay. Yeah. While you're loading that up, I'll just run out some numbers here. Yeah, Kyron Williams projected at 249 fantasy points. Yeah. Let's see. Cooper Kupp 218.7. Let's see.
Hopefully he can go through this season without having an injury.
Yeah. It looks like Ernest Jones the fourth. He's probably never mind. Wrong position. Let's see. I guess somebody named Blake Corum. He's probably going to be the backup running back. 102.3 fantasy points. And Matthew Stafford 286.6. Let's see. I guess Demarcus Robinson, he's probably their wide receiver 3. He's projected at 153.5. Yeah, Tyler Higbee is still going to be their tight end 1. Actually, maybe not necessarily, because it looks like opening week he's projected at 0, but for the season, 77.2. Oh, okay. It looks like their fantasy numbers are so close. It looks like the former Dallas Cowboy. I think he was a former Dallas Cowboy, if I'm not mistaken. Colby Parkinson.
I don't think so.
I might be mixing up with someone else.
Colby Parkinson. That name does not ring a bell to me.
Yeah, Yeah, his number is going to be very close to Higbee's. He's going to finish projected at 76.3.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know who I got him mixed up with. I mixed him up with Jake Ferguson. What's that? Parkinson, Ferguson, the Sins.
Really?
I got the sound mixed up.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got him mixed up with Ferguson.
So it looks like I'm just not going to be able to get the schedule back up there.
It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo is your backup.
If I could learn to do something with the browser that I'm using with the Xbox One,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a different thing.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to do some experiments with that between now and our next show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really see their names. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, taking a look at the schedule here for the Rams, they start on the road first 2 weeks at Detroit and at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home against the Niners, on the road against the Bears, then back home against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Their bye week will be week 6.
Mm-hmm.
So take a look at 1, 2, 3. Looking at the first 5 games here for the Rams.
Uh-huh.
I could probably see them going probably 2 and 3, maybe.
Yeah, that was somewhere I was around there. I was hovering between 2 and 3 and 3 and 2, that range.
Yeah, because Detroit will probably be too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona may not be that much of a challenge. San Francisco, San Francisco's going to tear them up. Chicago is my question mark. I mean, you got to see how this Jaden Daniels does.
Mm-hmm.
And that receiver, Romo Dunze, how they work well together.
Right.
And of course, Green Bay, Jordan Love, you don't count out Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, probably bet best 2 and 3 on that. Then they come off the bye week 7. They're on the road against the Raiders. They're on the road against the Vikings. Then at home against Seattle. On the road against Miami in week 10. Well, at home against Miami week 10. On the road to New England week 11. At home week 12 against the Eagles. That's not going to be a good one.
Ooh.
Then to start the month of December, they're on the road at New Orleans, home against Buffalo. Then they go to San Francisco. They go to New York against the Jets.
Mm.
Then they finish up at home against the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Mm.
So looks like an interesting schedule there. Last year, the Rams went 2023. Last year, they finished 10-7. They lost the wild card game to Detroit by just 1 point last year, 24-23. And the Las Vegas win totals for the Rams 8.5.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. I'm going over.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning toward here. Finished 10-7 last year, and they're projected to go maybe 8-5. I could probably see them maybe repeating at 10-7.
That sounds about right. Yeah. But if Cup could stay healthy, that should definitely come true.
Right. Now to the defending NFC champions, the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, let's see. Pull up some depth here. All right. See what we got here. Oh yeah, yeah. Run CMC. Yeah, he's clearly the highest projected player on this of everybody here. For the season, he's projected to finish with 338.1 fantasy points. Says on here he had the third most last season at 391. So they're projecting the down here for him a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but I don't
Yeah.
see too much though.
No.
Because he's still the best running back in the league.
Yeah. And it looks like Brandon Ayuk is probably considered the wide receiver 1 right now. 221.9 fantasy points to Deebo Samuel's 220.7. So yeah, very close numbers there.
Yeah, so and of course, as we mentioned earlier, the talks between Brandon Ayuk and the team are looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably give him an extension very soon. Talks will resume sometime after the 4th of July.
Yep. George Kittle's still the tight end 175 fantasy projection. Yeah, you got Brock Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant. Definitely not irrelevant no more. He's been very, very solid these past 2 years or so. 307.7 fantasy point projection. Let's see if there's anybody else here worthy of mentioning. I guess Ricky Purcell. He's probably one of the backup receivers. 87.5 projection.
I actually have him as a fantasy breakout.
Oh, okay, yeah. You can might as well give us some more info about him.
Yeah, so it looks like they'll keep Brandon Ayuk, but Pearsall looks pretty good. Played three years at Arizona State and then 2 years at Florida. 102 receptions for 1,547 yards, 10 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He ran a 4.4140 with a 42-inch vertical jump and a 10-foot 9-inch broad jump.
Nice.
So maybe I can't stop yawning. I mean, we had another rough day of work, so
yeah. Other than that, the only other player I really have on here is probably the backup running back for Christian McCaffrey's backup, Elijah Mitchell. He's projected at 73.4 fantasy points. Yeah, that's about it. And Juwan Jennings, probably the wide receiver 5, I guess. 41.7.
So the 49ers will start their season at New York against the Jets. Then they're at home against the Vikings and the Rams. On the road at New England and Arizona. Home against the Seahawks. Then week 7 and 8, I have circled both of them. Because like we mentioned earlier, week 7 is the Super Bowl rematch against the Chiefs. That will be at home at Levi Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Then week 8, guess who's coming to Levi Stadium?
Who's that?
Cowboys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that could be a slugfest, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. And then the 49ers will have their bye week in week 9. Then coming off the bye week in week 10, on the road to Tampa Bay, home against Seattle, on the road to Green Bay. I think I'm going to circle that one. That'll be interesting to see that one. Then on the road to Buffalo, week 14 and 15 are at home against the Bears and the Rams. Week 16, they're on the road against Miami. Week 17 is home against Detroit. And they finish the season on the road at Arizona.
Ooh, week 17 could be interesting for championship matches. Figure Amon-Ra St. Brown faces off against Brandon Ayuk. That could be pretty interesting.
Oh, yes. That could be a marquee matchup right there. So with that being said, the Niners last year finished 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
and of course lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Vegas has their over-under win total at 11.5. I gotta say it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, I would definitely say so too. Probably just a little bit though. I would say 12 wins, maybe 13.
Maybe 12 and 13 sounds just about right.
Mm-hmm.
That week 8 matchup, Dallas at San Francisco. I gotta tell you, I'm scared to death. But it's in the regular season, it's not in the playoffs.
True.
But it could happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cowboys may have to play against the 49ers in the playoffs if they make it there. So, oh boy.
All right, down to our last team.
Last team here, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. I got a player on that team that's my breakout candidate.
Sound off.
Yeah, I'm going with Jackson Smith and the Jigba for the Seahawks here. Given Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, they're both aging a bit. I think Metcalf might have missed a couple of games last season. Yeah, Lockett's getting older. He's in that veteran group now.
Yeah.
I mean, Lockett's really not a wide receiver 2 anymore. He's more of a wide receiver 3 now. When I'm looking at the fantasy projection numbers here, Jackson Smith and the Jigba is projected to get just a hair bit more than Tyler Lockett. At you got 182.4 to 181.9. That's how close it is. So yeah, DK Metcalf is still the guy, 227.5. But should something happen to him, Jackson Smith and Jigba could very well step up. And he was pretty good last season. It's saying here, Smith was largely deployed as a rookie, 64.3% rate, working as a complement to Metcalf and Lockett. Both of them finished inside the top 25 at that position. Well, yeah, so we'll see how he does. I think he's going to have a big improvement here. Looking at some of the other players, though, Kenneth Walker III at running back, he's projected at 210.6 fantasy points. Let's see. I guess Zach Charbonnet is one of your running backs here. 136.9. I don't see anybody else off the top of my head here. I'm just going through. I guess Noah Fant. He's going to be the main tight end here. 103.3 fantasy points for this season. Yeah, Sam Howell's the backup QB. 58.9. Yeah, that's about it for those guys.
Yeah. So
I guess now I could preview the schedule.
Yeah, Seattle will start at home against the Broncos. They travel to New England against the Patriots. Then home against Miami. Then on the road to Detroit.
Lost there.
Then they're at home against the Giants and then the 49ers.
Yeah, after that halfway point, I see him at 3-3.
Yeah, I can actually see San Francisco sweeping the Seahawks this year.
Yeah, maybe.
Then week 7, they're on the road to Atlanta. Week 8, they're on the road. Week 8, they're at home against Buffalo. Interesting. And then they're at home against the Rams. Their bye week is at week 10.
Yeah, right about the middle there.
Then week 11, they go to San Francisco, where they'll definitely lose that one. Home against Arizona. Then on the road against the Jets. Then on the road to Arizona. Home against Green Bay. Home against Minnesota. Then they finish at Chicago, then at the Rams. That sounds to me kind of a middle of the pack schedule, I guess.
Yeah.
Last year, the Seahawks finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas has her over/under win total at 7.5.
That is a very, very close one. I'm going to probably take the over, but ever so barely. I have maybe like 8 or 9 wins. Roughly the same performance as last season.
Yeah, I was tending to that too. Finished 9-8 last year. They got 7.5 for the over/under. I'm taking the over. 8-9. If they can go 9 wins again, that'd be all right. 10 wins, that'd be a huge improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the schedules right there.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I'm sorry for my POS laptop right here. It only works when it wants to.
Yep. Technology.
I got to get a better one.
Mm-hmm.
So that does that. So I guess I'll just have to explain to some of you about this one image that Flynn sent to me last night. It was taken from one of those spoof sports sites, and I think Flynn mentioned that he saw it on a Facebook page, or
Oh, that was
Vitaly
me.
saw it. Yeah, he saw it on a Facebook page. They were they were thinking if the National Football League wanted to realign the teams again, this time based on their geographical locations.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can still got Dr. Pepper here. I need something to help my throat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is what I found here on this. And of course, I'm having trouble getting these images onto the screen here. But if they decide to realign the AFC North,
Right. I might be able to pull it up if you can't.
Based on their geography, the new AFC North would consist of, this is very interesting here, the Indianapolis Colts, the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals,
Mm-hmm.
and the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it'd be one from different divisions coming together to form that one.
Right.
Then now this is an interesting one here. If they realign the AFC South teams,
Let's.
There you go. Let me see if I can go ahead and expand your screen here.
Mm-hmm.
The AFC South teams, if they decide to realign again, they would be, interesting one, the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans, the New Orleans Saints, and the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Then the new AFC East would consist of the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So that would take the Eagles out of their current division, but that would put the Eagles alongside the Steelers.
Yeah. And as Giants and Cowboys fans respectively, that would make us very happy.
Yes, definitely. And the AFC West would probably consist of the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Then to realign the NFC North, you would have the Minnesota Vikings, you would have the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, but the only difference here would be the Cleveland Browns.
Mm.
because in let's see, where was that other team? Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit. The Bears would be in the AFC North there.
Yeah.
To realign the NFC South, they would have the Miami Dolphins, the Carolina Panthers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So
all the Florida teams.
Yeah, why don't you just call the NFC Florida division?
Yeah.
Except Carolina, though, of course.
Yeah.
The NFC East, now this would be interesting for you Giants fans. You'd have the Giants, the Jets, the Washington Commanders, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And then in the NFC West, you would have the Kansas City Chiefs, Arizona Cardinals, the Denver Broncos, and the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I can only imagine how would playoff format work. That's what I would like to know.
And I think it'd probably go the same way as it is now.
Yeah, I guess probably.
Yeah, you'll have your 4 division winners and you have your 3 wild cards, and only the top seed gets the bye in the first round. I mean, home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
True, yeah.
So
yeah, there you go. Those are the
that's an idea someone came up with if they decided to realign the teams there. But I don't see any realignment anytime soon.
No, me neither.
Okay. So we have a little bit of unfinished business here. Yeah, we have the trivia questions.
All righty.
Now, your question was a really, really good one. If I'm not mistaken, your question was, who was the last
international-born player to be elected into the Football Hall of Fame? He was elected in 2017.
2017. So it was pretty kind of recent. 2017.
Yeah, it is another well-known name. If you're having trouble, I can give you another clue if you like.
Yes, please.
All right. He was a kicker. The most recent team he played for was the Atlanta Falcons, 2006 to 2007.
I think I know who it is.
All right, go ahead.
I think you're talking about the great Morton Anderson.
You got it right. Morton Anderson, he was from Denmark.
Denmark. I knew he was from Europe, but I can't remember where.
Yeah, notable. The teams he played for through his career: New Orleans Saints. He played for the Falcons, played for the Giants, the Chiefs, and then the Vikings, and then he went back to the Falcons to finish his career. Yeah, prior to them, there was just a few other names, but all the rest of these names I never even heard of. One person was John Stenerud from Norway. I never heard of him. Yeah.
John Stenerud, I've heard of him. Can't remember who he played for.
Yeah, he was also a place kicker. He played for the Chiefs, the Packers, and the Vikings. He was inducted in 1991.
Oh, wait. I think it's pronounced Jan Stenerud.
Yeah. And then before him was somebody named Ted Hendricks.
Don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, he was from Guatemala. But then below that, it was before both of us were even born. So highly unlikely we would have heard of these names. There was Arnie Weinemeister. Yeah, he was from Canada. He played for the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of these players, they're from well before we were born. Then there was Arnie Weinemeister. He was from Canada. Then there was a Tom Fears. He was from Mexico.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, because that was way back. He played from the Rams from 1948 to 1956.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these players were way back. Yeah, and then you had Leo Nominelli from Italy, Ernie Stautner from Germany,
Arnie
Steve.
Stautner. I remember him. I don't remember him as a player,
Yeah.
but I remember him as a. I want to say he was either the offensive or defensive coordinator under Tom Landry for the Cowboys.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So he was a defensive tackle. I'm going to do a quick wiki here and see. Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. Yeah, he also served as a coach for the Steelers, the Washington Redskins at the time, and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then to close out the other two names, Steve Van Buren, not the basketball Steve Van Buren.
Right.
And then Bronco. Oh, this name might sound somewhat familiar. Bronco Nagurski.
Bronco Nagurski.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he was from Canada. He played fullback. He played for the Bears from 1930 to 1937, and then once more in 1943. He got inducted in 1963. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 international players are in the Hall of Fame.
And well deserved for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that one right.
Good job.
Let's see if you, well, I need to come up with a correct answer thing. I got to work on that, but I guess the closest I can get from what I have would be this.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Oddly enough, that's the one I was thinking about. I was unaware you still had that.
Yeah, I still do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now to my question.
Okay.
As earlier, my question was this: the 1997 Kansas City Chiefs
Mm-hmm.
finished at 13-3, first place in the division, first place in the conference, home field advantage throughout, but they lost the divisional round playoff to the Denver Broncos 14-10.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, my original question was to name both starting quarterbacks. Now, the Broncos starting quarterback, well, everybody would know that one.
Yeah. John Elway.
Of course.
Right.
But my question is, who was the Chiefs starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, this one I'm not really sure. I mean, I know this quarterback played during this year. I just don't know if he was if he played for this team. That's the only thing that's throwing me off. The first name that came into my mind was Trent Dilfer.
Nope. I will give you another shot.
Trying to think of quarterbacks off the top of my head. Yeah, you got me on this one. It's probably an obvious one too.
Might be.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, the answer is Elvis Gerbach.
Oh, never heard of him actually.
Elvis Gerbach.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you may have heard of his backup quarterback. That was a guy by the name of Rich Gannon.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard of him.
Yeah, so I guess when Elvis, I guess you could say when Elvis left the building, Rich Gannon took over for a couple of years. But then Rich Gannon left Kansas City and went to the Raiders. Okay. Kind of got an interesting one for you. In 1997, that same year, with the 13th overall pick in the draft, the Chiefs drafted a tight end.
I wish I could remember these 90s players.
They drafted him with the 13th overall pick in 1997. And I'll give you another clue. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh. It's one of those obvious names that I can't pull out. Yeah, you got me again.
Okay, I'll give you one more clue. He played a lot of years for the Chiefs, but he played his final 2 years with the Falcons.
And he played tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's my weak area. Like if it was like running backs or quarterbacks, that I would do pretty well in. But it's the tight ends. That's my weak category. Yeah, you got me on this one.
Okay. His name was Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, of course. Damn, how did I miss that?
The great Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he started that early.
Yeah. Well,
I was thinking of late. I only remember late Tony Gonzalez.
right. Back when he was with the Falcons, baby.
Mm-hmm.
He really made a name for himself with Kansas City. But well,
let's see. I guess before we go, I'll show a quick countdown of how long we have until our draft. It's getting there now. It's getting closer. We are in about 63 days away.
63 days and counting.
That timer is starting to count down. Yeah, just over 2 months away. Football season's right around the corner.
Yep. And as we were talking about before the show, we still have a
We'll have a couple more shows left. Yep.
Oh, we do fantasy rankings.
Yeah, the fantasy rankings. So that's probably going to be somewhere in August, I'm guessing. Well, we're going to have a busy one in August. We have our fantasy rankings, our playoff predictions, and then the draft.
Yeah, we have 20 questions.
Yeah, that one potentially 2 weeks, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, it's a tentative. It'll probably be a tentative date. That won't be set in stone yet. Like the tentative date is July 12th.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll take a little break. We were here 4 straight weeks. So.
Yeah. So we deserve a break.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Flynn started his a little bit early. So that's all right. We forgive him. So we got 20 questions. We got the fantasy rankings. We'll have our playoff Super Bowl predictions.
Well, if we think of any other topics in between, we'll do them.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But we'll get with Flynn. We'll get with Flynn on that and see if July 12th is a good date for him. Yeah, I'll just need a few days to come up with the questions, and then maybe Flynn can make graphics with our answers.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to see what I can work with my web browser on my Xbox One. See what I can work with some before now and our next show. So my laptop's not cooperating with me at all. So, but anyway, I guess that's going to do it for this week's show.
Yeah. Also, we talked about all the teams, so all the teams are in the books.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just tell our viewers in case you missed info on your favorite team, just check the previous videos.
Yeah, check the previous videos on TJM3774. That's my channel. And of course, it's also on John Flynn's channel, believe it or not. So just check there. And be sure to catch John Flynn's Hooked on Sports wherever you find your podcasts. I want to send a shout out to Alex Putnam, Lucas Cantwell, that's LC Muscles. They got Pain and Game coming back this September. So the Pain and Game Pick'em show. And of course, we'll be back in about a couple of weeks. Take a good rest. 4 straight weeks. We deserve a little rest. So, and of course, next week, of course, is the 4th of July. So y'all be careful out there. So,
and new logo coming soon.
Oh yeah, I've decided on the new logo. We're going to be having that, I'm going to work on a new intro. And what I've decided is we're going to introduce the new intro on our draft night, which I'm going to make our official season premiere on August 30th.
August 30th, as of right now, yes.
All right. So y'all be sure to listen to John Flynn on Hooked on Sports. And most likely you're going to see us 2
Yeah,
weeks
we'll probably go back to
tomorrow.
our normal Friday schedules for the time being.
Yes. So hope to see y'all back here on July 12th, Friday night. We'll determine what our next show will be. Probably fantasy rankings. We can probably do that. So I guess that's going to do it. I guess we managed to go through this together. So
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess
we did it around our normal average length.
Right, we did all right. So
yeah.
Well, I guess that's going to do it for this week's show. For my buddy John Natali.
Yeah.
For John Flynn vacationing in Scotland. Thanks, everybody. My name's Tim McClellan. Thanks for watching us, everybody. Good night. God bless you. As always, be a good sport. See ya.